Until 2024, the term Bixanomomania did not exist. It appeared online as a purported medical condition affecting human eyes after excessive computer use. The condition was a total fabrication. A group of scientists invented the disease and posted the findings online to test the internet's ability to filter fabricated data. Every detail was fake, including the authors, their locations, and their funding sources, listed as the University of Fellowship of the Ring and the Galactic Triad. Despite clear markers of a prank, large language models like ChatGPT and Gemini ingested the data. They bypassed truth filtering and treated the fictional text as a factual source. When users asked about the condition, the AI generated authoritative clinical definitions. By summarizing the fake paper, the models turned a scientific joke into a legitimate-sounding health concern. This wasn't a software bug, it was a failure of verification logic. The systems prioritize the formatting of the information over the actual validity of the facts. This vulnerability stems from structural legitimacy, the tendency to trust information because it carries the markers of formal academic or institutional content. Verifying the primary sources of every claim is a slow, difficult process. As a result, human brains and AI models use these structural signals as a cognitive shortcut. We are currently seeing a rise in cognitive outsourcing. This is the process where individuals stop performing their own research and instead rely on automated tools and perceived experts to provide the answers. This creates a significant risk. When false information is presented with the correct academic vocabulary, it slips past our defenses because we have already outsourced the act of skepticism. AI systems accelerate this cycle. They ingest the false input and republish it as authoritative fact, creating a feedback loop that validates the original lie. By offloading our critical thinking to machines that lack truth filters, we automate the spread of our own errors across the entire digital ecosystem. To understand how a lie becomes a consensus, we can trace its path through the epistemic supply chain. Node 1 is the fake input. This is where intentionally fabricated data, like the Bixanomania paper, is first created. At Node 2, the data is uploaded to preprint platforms or blogs. These sites wrap the lie in a gray shell of professional formatting, giving it a permanent URL and a veneer of authority. Node 3 is the ingestion engine. Search engines and AI scrapers pull the text. They see the academic syntax and accept the packet without checking if the data inside is actually true. At Node 4, amplification occurs. The AI models regenerate the claim in natural, confident language, stripping away any original warnings or context. Finally, at Node 5, the information reaches the public. Users assume the machine has verified the data, and the fabricated claim is accepted as common knowledge. This entire cascade is powered by the lie's ability to disguise itself. As long as the formatting is correct, the system allows the information to move from creation to consensus. This isn't just a failure of code. At the Cambridge Festival, an experiment showed that humans suffer from these exact same blind spots. In a live game themed after The Traders, an audience had to watch 4 researchers present their work and decide who was lying. Sarah, an astrophysicist, presented actual data from her research. She spoke about galactic archaeology, the study of the Milky Way's formation history through the chemical signatures found in ancient stars. Because her field sounded outlandish and her presentation was dense, the audience mistook her complexity for a lack of confidence. They voted her a deceiver, rejecting the real science because it didn't sound like their version of the truth. Meanwhile, a trader named Joyce falsified her research results entirely. Joyce shared personal experiences and relatable cultural cues. Her presentation felt authentic and considered, which led the audience to vote her as an honest researcher, despite her data being fake. The experiment demonstrated that when humans evaluate information, they often prioritize social proof and narrative confidence over actual factual accuracy. Comparing to AI Cascade with the Cambridge experiment reveals a dangerous synergy. AI is compromised by how it ingests data. It equates the statistical frequency of words with reality, lacking any ability to verify facts through physical experience. Human vulnerability is usually limited by our social circles. A lie told in a lecture hall or a local group has a finite reach and can be corrected by neighbors. but AI operates at the speed of compute. It takes these human-like cognitive errors and projects them across a global network in milliseconds. AI acts as a multiplier. It takes our local tendency to trust the right look and scales that vulnerability until it affects the global information supply chain. The Bixonomia prank was a small-scale test, but the vulnerability it exposed is systemic. In the healthcare sector, the risks are immediate. If AI-validated fake diseases go viral, they can lead to misdiagnoses, unnecessary medical interventions, and the sale of fraudulent treatments. Organized disinformation campaigns can exploit this exact pipeline. By laundering propaganda through AI models, state actors can hide the origins of their claims, making them appear as a neutral, synthesized consensus. As synthetic lies become as well-formatted as peer-reviewed facts, establishing a common factual baseline for public debate becomes a significant logistical challenge. When populations can no longer verify the information they consume, they become susceptible to manipulation by those who control the platforms and the data flow. To defend against this, we need a rigid protocol for information verification. We must move past the surface-level presentation. Protocol 1. Verify the source chain. Protocol 2. Flag outlandish affiliations to detect fake science. Protocol 3. Question AI outputs as leads, not final answers. Current educational trends focus heavily on technical proficiency. However, by prioritizing mathematics over the humanities, we are neglecting the media literacy and critical thinking required to navigate this landscape. We must shift our focus back to critical thinking, recognizing the difference between structural legitimacy and substantive fact is now a survival skill. If we continue to outsource our intellectual labor, we will lose our ability to distinguish reality from the automated fictions that surround us.